In this Culture Spots Client Spotlight video, we're taking you with us to visit Girard College in Philadelphia, where we had a fabulous conversation with our friend and early Culture Spots adopter, Elizabeth Laurent, their Director of Historic Resources.
Girard College is an incredible institution, a school that opened in 1848 with the innovative social vision of helping children in need. And so it has done for 168 years. It is a residential school for children in grades 1 through 12. The school's historical resources include remarkable buildings designed by Thomas U. Walter, who after his Girard job was the architect for the dome of the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C. Girard College has remarkable buildings and also an incredible history collection. Is the contents of school founder Stephen Girard's Philadelphia townhouse, items that date from 1780 to 1830, backed up by Stephen Girard's papers collection, which has the bills and orders and account books for most of the museum objects. So the Stephen Girard collection is Philadelphia's great intact single-owner collection from the early national period. We wanted to try Culture Spots for several reasons. Founders Hall, because it is so big and because it is a remarkable structure, has a very active rental program where we have people who rent the first floor of this building for all kinds of activities. We saw that Culture Spots was going to be a way to layer information in for those folks who are here for events when we don't have our museum and professional staff on hand. So they could be here for various events. They could pick up information about the building and the school itself in a very self-guided kind of way at various events. We've gotten some wonderful feedback about the audio tours from high school students who are here in this building for various reasons and will pick up on the tours. The really exciting feedback that I've gotten from them is that they've asked me when we're going to do more and if they can help do it. It would be an understatement to say that I am not a technology person, but I found there was a specific logic that resonated with things that I as a museum person know how to do. There is no substitute for having important things to say and important information to share. So what I found most useful about Culture Spots was that because the sweet spot for each stop on the tour was pretty short, 45 seconds at the most, that drew us to focus on what was most important. When I heard audio spots that were longer, they lost my attention. Then we wrote the script, which was very similar to me for writing a PowerPoint script if I was going to deliver something. You will recall that I did get quite a bit of technological assistance from you, which I needed. I think many of your clients wouldn't. But having done it once, like doing the PowerPoint lectures, having done it once, I wouldn't need to be asking those questions a second time. Like many institutions, we have, complicated situations of who reports to whom. Therefore, all of these folks I could fold into this is an interesting product. How do you think this might work for us? To have those conversations fairly early on. Got a lot of positive feedback. It fit in in many ways with the school's website initiatives. And then the key piece, of course, was the president of our school became interested in the project and was willing to spend a bit of his time to do the narration for the very first stop. That was just a wonderful stamp of approval, not only from him, but to show our listeners that the president of the school thought this was an important way for us to share information about the school. There is not much point in having a great audio tour if people don't know two things. They don't know that you have it, and they don't know how they can benefit from it. So because we have so many first floor visitors for various events who have no direct contact with staff, we wanted to make it visually clear and obvious that we had this tool, and on that same signage, that this is exactly the way you can access it. In looking at our diagnostics of the tool, what our numbers show is that people are choosing which pieces of it they want to know about most, and which pieces of it work for their particular experience of the building. By being able to choose how they want to use it, I think that is a benefit. They don't feel trapped in it. They can turn it off and on as works for them. I don't know of anybody who likes the sound of their recorded voice. I think for museum people who like to share information, it's a very natural outreach tool. And a lot of museum people love to give illustrated lectures. That whole process, I think, is very similar. And maybe if a curator prefers to do research, many museums have education people who would be delighted to do that outreach and to narrate the script. Part of our process the second time around would be to have a bigger team of folks working on it so that our kids could be involved both with writing the script and also with narrating it. When you think of historic sites having student volunteers and student training programs, it's very easy for me to see how teenagers could get folded right into creating that kind of product. And that it would be great for the kids, for that sense of excitement that they would have, and also brings a liveliness and obviously a technological agility that would be enlightening and exciting for future projects. We've also thought of some campus tours for our alumni in particular. When they are back, they enjoy strolling the main road and looking around the 20 or so different buildings on this campus where they lived at different times, where they ate, where they had their classrooms, where they had their sports activities. We have talked about doing an alumni narrated tour of that main road as a way of being able to give folks on our campus a menu of options so that they can choose. I'd like to know more about the sense of campus, the sense of student life here over time. One of our other visitor groups would be outside families and schools who come here specifically for sporting events. If they're watching a baseball game, Girard has a fabulous baseball tradition. Girard was a 19th century baseball powerhouse and for many decades held the American record for the school that had sent the most players from its school straight into Major League Baseball. That kind of information we think would be of great interest to folks who are here for events. The whole process for us was an eye-opener, and the knowledge and kindness of you and your staff made a huge difference. This was not a scary thing for us to embark on. This was not a thing where we felt deserted in the middle of it and didn't know how to finish it. The personal attention mattered and was very much appreciated. Thank you.